Good evening, welcome to this week's Redvee TV. And this week we're in the lovely surroundings of the George pub on George Street in St Helens, who have been gracious enough to host us for this evening, so thank you to the George. First off, Sheffield game, the weekend. 64-6 victory for Saints. Pretty straightforward run out. Yeah,
you'd say so. Don't think you can read too much into the results against a team like Sheffield. First hit out, looks like it all went well. From the highlights I've seen, didn't manage to get one of the golden tickets to the game. But yeah, looked like it went well, and the noises from the coach after it were mostly positive.
I think it's one of those games where you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing, really, aren't you? If you don't go and put 50, 60 points on them, fans start getting a little bit doubtful. You put 60 on them and people go, that's what we expected anyway. But at the end of the day, I think we said last week, it was just all about fitness in the game. Watching the highlights on YouTube again, because we weren't lucky enough to get a golden ticket. Unfortunately, I got the duck egg and had to go and watch Everton instead. Unlucky. I think what I noticed about it was Smith getting used at 9. Chance for Justin Holbrook to have a look at him there.
Yeah, and why not? It's a trial game. I don't believe in the term friendly as such. I mean, Sheffield didn't treat us as a friendly, considering they had one sent off. But yeah, why not try out a couple of different combinations? Try out a couple of different half combinations in an actual match rather than just on the training pitch. See what Smith can do at 9, because you never know what the season's going to throw at you.
Yeah, obviously, Theo Farge and Danny Richardson played in the halves. Danny Richardson took on the kicking duties, obviously with Mark Percival not on the side, and he looked pretty decent with the boot also.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Richardson's kicked goals for fun for the under-19s, and you'd imagine that they'll have a look at him as first choice. Percival did nothing wrong about that last year when he started getting a little bit nervous towards the end, and maybe they will look at changing it up. Interesting that Smith didn't kick any, whether they'll be looking at him or Makinson or anybody like that in training. Don't know.
Good to see Adam Swift back on the sides. He looked pretty sharp from the highlights that I've seen of him. What do you think of the wingers situation for the season?
It's only good that we've got a bit of depth there. I mean, Swifty made a couple of mistakes and was rightly rested. Unfortunately for him, Grace steps in and has a pretty good season. I wouldn't turn around and say Grace was absolutely amazing, pardon the pun of amazing Grace, but I wouldn't say he was amazing. He started off really well. Sometimes he could have backed himself a little bit more, but he's a young winger just finding his way in Super League, so you'd think that he was going to build on that. But having Swift, Makinson and Grace as the options can only be good.
I wouldn't have been surprised in the off-season if we'd have possibly looked to maybe offload Adam Swift, but obviously Justin Holbrook's kept him in the squad, which means he must have a place for him. And just like the half-backs, I think on the wings this season you might see a little bit of rotation, obviously. Just keep them all fresh, so Regan Grace, Tommy Makinson, Adam Swift. I think you'll see a little bit of rotation, and that can't be a bad thing, having that competition there.
Well, that's it, when the pitches are heavy. I mean, Makinson's had a couple of injury problems, so you don't know whether, if he's just feeling a little bit of something, that they just maybe lift him out of the team for a game. I'd still say Makinson's our best winger. And they may just give him a little bit of a rest, give him a week off, get you fresh for maybe a big game the week after. Why not?
James Bentley made his first appearance in the Saints shirt and give a little bit of a glimpse of what he can do with his footwork, and got a couple of tries on the back of it also.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing James Bentley this year. I think it's like rumours and talk of him possibly going on loan early. I just don't see the point of that. I think you've got to give the season 6-8 weeks to bed in, and then see if he is getting a sniff, and if he's not performing in training, or he's come on and he's looked a bit jittery, then give him a bit of time somewhere else. Send him to Sheffield on dual reg. Send him back out on loan.
I think sending him to Sheffield on dual reg would probably be a bit of a backward step.
It possibly would, but if you want to give him game time and proper game time against, instead of playing like as an overage in the under-19s, if they can still do that, why not give him some proper game time? But as I say, I'd like to kind of see him in and around the 19 anyway, just because now second rowers, are we good in that department?
Well, that probably brings us on to our next point. Now that we've pretty much covered the Sheffield friendly and we did a job and move on. Justin Holbrook's announcement yesterday, Tuesday, that the new captain of the club will be James Roby. The reasoning behind doing so is that obviously James has been at the club an awful long time, club legend, and Justin Holbrook thinks it's James Roby's time to lead the club, and before he finishes his career. In doing so, Jon Wilkin will step down as captain, and obviously Justin Holbrook said he wants his captain to be somebody who's in the 17 week in week out, which obviously James Roby will be, depending on whether he's fit or not. But Jon Wilkin will have limited game time this year and will be rested. Now, is that a sign that he will rotate and maybe rotate with James Bentley?
Yeah, possibly so. It's the phrase limited game time. Wilkin's been an 80-minute player, or near enough an 80-minute player. Does that mean he's going to play 40 minutes? Does it mean he's going to miss out on games? He's coming to the end of his career.
And I think if you want to prolong Jon's career, managing his game time is probably the way to go.
Absolutely.
He was the second top tackler. I think he was in Super League or Saints last season. I think it might have been Super League. He was still a machine tackling, and Jon's been asked to do a role that probably hasn't come natural to him probably for the last 5 or 6 years, and he's done that, and that's probably what's got him a lot of stick. When he has been played as a pure second rower, he's looked decent and he can still contribute.
That's it. Jon Wilkin's been a class act for Saints.
And again, we've flogged him.
Yeah, exactly. He's been a class act. You don't necessarily see second rowers playing 80 minutes all the time, week in, week out. I've not a problem with, as he gets into the latter stage of his career, that he does drop out for certain games. He's kept fresh for bigger games or for important stages of the season where we're going to need his experience.
And you'll see an even better Jon Wilkin when you're using him as an impact player also.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what the lineup is on Friday night when we take on the Leigh Centurions at the Totally Wicked Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. Strong squad been named.
Yeah, 24-man squad. It looks like pretty much everybody's there except for Luke Douglas, who must be carrying some sort of knock. And obviously Leigh come to us on the back of a 22-14 defeat against Wigan at the weekend, and that was nip and tuck for the first 60-70 minutes of that game, so they'll be a little bit battle hardened, so it'll be a decent test for us. Kieran Cunningham bringing the team over. Well, I say that he's the director of rugby, but ex-Saints in the lineup. Matty Dawson-Jones, the man must have been married. Jack Owens, nailed on for first try scorer. Greg Richards, and obviously Jonah Cunningham.
There's only Ricky Bailey missing, I think.
Only Ricky Bailey, so there'll be a couple of ex-Saints there with points to prove also, so it should be a decent test for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Leigh are always a tough team to play against. I think it'll be another good hit out. I wouldn't necessarily expect free-flowing rugby.
Do you know what? I expect it to be a really tight game on the basis that we're bringing 12 players into the squad who haven't actually had a hit out in this pre-season, so again they'll be working towards fitness, and Leigh will be well up for it. So I think it'll be a tight game, and again, it's not about the results, is it? It's just about building up for that game against Castleford the week after.
It's about getting meters into the legs and seeing if some of your combinations work. But that's it. It's about the hit out. It's about literally getting people actually into a game situation, getting them tackling, getting them running, having a look at how the attitude is towards the game. And I've no doubt that Holbrook, with the way that he's come in at Saints, if someone doesn't necessarily perform, he'll have a word with him. They might not be in for Castleford.
Would you expect the team that will play versus Castleford to be the starting 13 on Friday night? Do you think you'll start with his strongest and then obviously rotate later on in the game?
It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me.
We should get a pretty decent glimpse of what Justin Holbrook's thinking is.
Yeah, I mean, there may be one or two changes. I mean, you never know if he's going to start the likes of Roby, as you say, and Percival's going to come back in. So there's only like the odd place, maybe the front rowers or anybody in the pack, probably with the exception of James Roby, who could change. I think his back line will be settled. As I say, as we said on the last one, I think he'll have his half-backs lined up now on who he wants to go with.
I think whatever we start with as the half-back combination on Friday night will probably be what we go with.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
second guess, and I think now it's probably going to be Farge and Richardson, and I think Smith will be used to relieve Roby at 9.
Oh, fair enough. Well, where does Lomax fit into?
Again, it's a tough one, isn't it? How often have we gone into seasons past where the team pretty much picked itself, and this time round you've actually got conundrums, it's easy for me to say, in different positions.
Yeah, it's great for the team. It's got to be, with a man manager in there as well, he can make sure that people are ready to come in. I've got to go with Sean Dyche at Burnley. He does exactly that. Yeah, he's got his set players who usually play week in, week out, but players are ready to come into the team for him. I think Justin Holbrook's a very, very similar coach, where people know that they are going to be needed through the season, and if they're not in round 1, they might be in round 22 and be played every week for the past 4 and play on until hopefully a grand final.
Any other business? So, from me, Castleford played Leeds at the weekend, and I think it was their final hit out of the pre-season, and apparently it was absolute turgid conditions over in Yorkshire. I think it was -2, wet, and it wasn't a great game, so Castleford's probably not having the greatest preparation before the fixture to open the Super League season, whereas we took it away from Totally Wicked Stadium to protect the pitch and probably had a decent hit out on that pitch at Ruskin.
Yeah, but I mean, around this time of the year, you're always going to have the turgid games. Started the season last year, 6-4 against Leeds. So grinding out the wins.
Take that again.
Absolutely. Grinding out the wins is what it's all about, making sure you've got points on the board.
I think Justin Holbrook said that this season. The aim is for us to actually finish in the top 2 and get a home semi-final. I think we've banged on about it for years, about the importance of a home semi-final. And you get the feeling if we'd have had a home semi-final over the last couple of years, we may have well had a couple more appearances at Old Trafford.
Absolutely.
So we're going to hit the ground running, you'd like to think.
I think we've got to. I think
it's setting down a marker as well.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of years ago we did it where we ended up top of the league, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to get in there early. Yeah, don't peak too soon, but make sure, as you say, you're getting points on the board, you're getting wins under your belt. Wins breed confidence, and all of a sudden, lads will get better when it all dries out as well.
The Super League advert with the Brownlee brothers. Now, there's probably quite a lot of people who actually would have to turn around and say, who are the Brownlee brothers to begin with? What did you make of the advert?
It looks like it's been made by someone on The Apprentice who loses the task. There's not a rugby ball in sight. I could only tell you now, I think Callum Watkins is the only player.
He can jump dead high.
Well, he's the only player I can remember being in it. There's nothing to it. It doesn't sell the brand. It's the Brownlee brothers putting 4 athletes through their training regime, really.
Great, the rugby players are fit is what it's said. Now for me, do you know what? It doesn't need something that tries to be clever. All you needed was a 45 second advert of the fantastic tries of last season. Action pass, try in the corner, your stars running past people, big hits, and put that out and show this is the brand, this is what you can be watching. Exactly. Instead, we try and be clever all the time and it backfires. And I know it's so easy to say, oh, we don't like the Super League advert, but do you know what? You don't see an advert for the Premier League and the players going doing what? Climbing mountains.
Yeah, rowing down the Thames with the Oxford Bolt team or something.
Do you know what it reminds me of? But when the Premier League launched in 1992 and they had them all doing the alive and kicking and they were all doing the weights and things and coming out the showers. We're 25 years behind the times, 26 years behind the times.
Well, that's it. I think sometimes as well, we're always, as a sport, trying to be better than other sports. Why?
Yeah, and it's like when you're watching the Super League coverage and there's somebody from another sport in the crowd and they constantly focus on them like, wow, we must be a fantastic sport. Ryan Giggs is here, or Stuart Pearson. It's like,
no, yeah, by all means show them, but don't keep going back to it. It's about the product
Bradley
on the
Wiggins,
pitch. It's about the product on the pitch. And I'm sick of us trying to be, we're better than triathletes. No, you know what? Let's not try and be better than
anybody. Just try and be good at what we do.
Yeah, and sell what we do.
Seems simple enough. Nigel Wood obviously stepping down at the RFL. Ralph Rimmer has announced his candidacy. I think it'd be the same old if he got in personally. But one of the interesting things I noticed just to finish this week was he basically said, even if Toronto Wolfpack win every game this season, win the middle eights, win the £1 million game if that's what they were in, there's no guarantee that they're going to be in Super League next season. They would be subject to a review. So, are we going back to licensing, franchising? Is it not about how you perform on the pitch?
Is it bad that we're at that stage where we don't know what the...
We don't even know what the format is, do we?
What format is going forward.
And I'll be honest, there's going to be a lot of Super League fans who'll be devastated if Toronto actually gain that promotion and aren't allowed in, because we all want a holiday to Toronto, don't we?
Well, that's it. No, listen, if Toronto aren't allowed in, why not?
What's the point of all these players going there? And
it's not that. If Toronto played with 17 Canadians every week and then came up, why aren't they allowed?
How can you try and sell the brand in North America and build it up, and you're basically telling them now, oh, by the way, even if you are good enough, you're not coming in. So you're trying to turn the fans away before they even started. Shouldn't they have decided this about 2 or 3 years ago whether they were going to be allowed in or not?
Absolutely.
To me, it's like trying to what's the word? Bolt the stable after the horse bolted. I don't know.
Shut the stable door after the horse.
That. So yeah, that's it from me this week. Anything from yourself?
No, I'm not doing that.
So yes, we'll be at the Totally Wicked Stadium on Friday night. If anybody wants to come on Redvee TV after the game, so a little bit of post-match, I will try and be outside. Just send us a message. Twitter, Facebook, all on the forum if it ever actually returns. Hopefully, if you're watching this Thursday or Friday, the site will be back up. We've just had a little bit of teething problems. And we'll see you next week, and we'll do our final little preview show before Cass and give you some of our predictions for the season. Let's say thank you to the George once again, haven't we?
Yeah, thank you.
Nice little surroundings. If you want to come here for a drink pre-game on a match night, there's always a good following the Saints fans in here. Okay, we'll see you again next week on Redvee TV.